Hi, I'm Vimal.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Before I tell you what we built, listen to this for a few seconds. That's the sound of a child with pneumonia. In the time you just listened, somewhere a child stopped breathing. So, we built Malaika, Angel in Swahili, an open source AI assistant that puts a WHO trained nurse in the pocket of every mother with a $60 phone. Now, let's dive back into the problem. This isn't a film about a rare disease. It's a disease we have a vaccine for, a 5-cent antibiotic for, a protocol the WHO wrote 30 years ago, and it still kills more than 700,000 children every year. In 2024, 4.9 million children didn't see their 5th birthday. More than 1.1 million of them were killed by just 2 diseases, pneumonia and diarrhea. The headline I cannot get out of my head is a child dies from pneumonia every 39 seconds. The medicine exists, the science is settled, so why are children still dying? Let me tell you about a real moment from a peer-reviewed study in South Africa. A young mother in Umarzi has just been discharged from the hospital with her newborn. She gets on the bus. Halfway home, the baby starts breathing too fast. She knows something is wrong. A mother knows. What she doesn't know, what no one ever taught her, is how wrong. Whether the next 30 minutes are get off this bus tonight or see how she or he sleeps. That second kind of knowing has a name. It's called WHO IMCI protocol. And that night, in that bus, it was sitting in a manual, in a drawer, in a clinic she couldn't afford to write to. She wants to get off and go straight back. She doesn't have the bus fare. She rides home, she holds her child, she prays. By the time she steps off, the baby has died. That's a published case. It happened. It wasn't the medicine that failed her. It was the distance between her and the medicine, and the knowing that would have told her which crossing was worth fighting for. The WHO has a protocol for exactly this situation. It's called IMCI. When fully implemented, it cuts under 5 mortality by 15% stated by Cochrane Review. 65,000 participants. But to learn IMCI, a nurse trains for 11 days. By 2030, the global health worker shortage hits 6 million. The protocol that could save 1 million children a year is just quietly sitting in a manual most caregivers will never reach. That's not a medical problem, that's a distribution problem.
But something has changed. The phone got to the village before the doctor did. 489 million mobile subscribers in sub-Saharan Africa, a working Android smartphone for $60 US. The phone is already in her hand, already in the village, already charged. So we asked one question: what if the phone could be the doctor? We spent 36 days asking, could the phone be the doctor? Our job was to make sure that sentence I just stated could be shipped as a binary, not a metaphor. We began testing small open models that could fit on a $60 Android smartphone. Gemma 4 E2B was the only model with everything we needed. 2.5 gigabytes, vision capable, 140 languages, including the African ones our users actually speak, and agentic AI engineered for tool use. This entire app exists because Google released Gemma 4 open source. Not behind an API, not behind a paywall. The weights themselves on the device, in the mother's pocket, inside Malaika, the name of our solution, which means angel in Swahili. Gemma 4 does 4 jobs that together replace what a WHO-trained nurse does. It listens. Offline speech to text. The mother speaks her own language and Gemma understands with no translation pipeline. It looks. 1 photo, 6 vision skills: alertness, sunken eyes, chest indrawn, dehydration, wasting, and edema. It reasons, a 12-skill agent running on the phone's GPU. If 2 findings contradict, it flags the conflict. If a danger sign appears, it stops everything and tells her to refer to a doctor or physician immediately. It speaks. The treatment plan read back in her language, loud and clear in a human-like voice on the phone's speaker. All 4 modes run entirely on device. No SIM, no Wi-Fi, no cloud, ever. Look at a real assessment, a real Samsung A53 smartphone in airplane mode. 1 continuous take, nothing faked.
Hello, I'm happy to help. How old is your child in months?
He is 12 months,
12 months old. That's great. How much does your child weigh in kilograms?
6.5 kgs.
Could you please show a photo of the child so I can check their health signs? Or type, skip, if there isn't one. Analyzing the photo, I can see some signs: lethargic, sunken eyes, dehydrated. Let me ask a few more questions to be sure. Is your child unable to drink or breastfeed?
No, he can drink well.
That is good to hear he can drink well. Does your child vomit everything they eat or drink?
Nothing like that.
That is good to hear. Has your child had any fits or seizures during this illness?
No, nothing.
That is good to hear. Does your child have a cough or any difficulty breathing?
Yes, he is having cough.
I understand he is having a cough. When your child breathes in, does the lower chest wall pull inward?
Yes.
That's noted. Does your child make any unusual sounds when breathing, like wheezing or a harsh noise?
Yes, I can hear some harsh noise. No, he is not having any diarrhea.
That's good to hear about the diarrhea. But does your child have a fever or feel hot?
He's having fever for last 2 days.
2 days is a bit long. Do you live in an area with mosquitoes or malaria?
Yes, there are a lot of mosquitoes around.
That sounds concerning given the mosquito situation. Does your child look very thin?
Yes.
I understand you are concerned about the appearance of your child. Is there any swelling in both of your child's feet?
Yes, I can see some swelling on top of the feet.
Oh dear, it sounds like this little one is very unwell and needs our immediate attention. The signs you've described, like lethargy, poor breathing, and visible wasting, are serious and require urgent medical care. Please take this child to a health worker right away so they can give them.
What you just watched is the part that is AI: listening, looking, reasoning, and translating. The red classification card at the end, that's the part where Malaika stops being AI. Every classification on that screen is a hard-coded WHO IMCI threshold, not a probability, not a model's guess, not a hallucination. If WHO updates a threshold next year, we change one line of code. The boundary between what AI does and what the code does is the entire safety story of this product. We don't let an AI decide whether a child lives or dies. The AI's job is the human part: listening, looking, reasoning, and translating. The medicine belongs to the World Health Organization. Oh, and one more thing. The phone has one honest limit. It can't listen to a child's chest. So we built a second product for the village clinic 10 kilometers away. A browser-based clinical portal any nurse can sign into from any laptop the clinic already owns. She drops a 30-second audio recording of the child's breathing. Our fine-tuned Gemma 4 E4B model classifies the breath sounds, and then the same model writes a clinical note for the chart grounded in WHO IMCI. Same Gemma family, same open weight story, same on-device privacy. The clinic server is the clinic's own hardware. The mother's phone in the village, the nurse's laptop in the clinic. 2 apps, 2 users, 1 architecture, scaled across 2 tiers of care.
I want to take you back to the bus. Same mother in Amalfi, same midnight, same fever. This time, there's a $60 phone in her bag. She opens Malaika. She speaks in her own language. She holds the phone over her child for 1 photo. In 30 seconds, before the bus reaches the next stop, she has the same answer a WHO nurse would give her. Severe respiratory distress. This is an emergency. Please return to the hospital now. Now, let me be honest about what Malaika does and does not do. Malaika doesn't give her bus fare. The first time, she didn't go back because she didn't have it. That hasn't changed. Malaika doesn't put paracetamol or ORS in cupboard either. You may already be asking the right question. If Malaika tells her to give those, can she find them in a village this remote? Honestly, most of the time, yes. The first line, WHO home treatments like paracetamol, ORS, fluids, continued feeding, reach the local kiosk in most villages. Not all, but most. And the medicines that don't are antibiotics for severe pneumonia, IV fluids, are exactly what Malaika tells her to walk, beg, or borrow her way to clinic for. What was missing was never only the medicine, it was the knowing whether tonight is paracetamol and fluids or do not wait. What has changed is the certainty. The first time, she didn't know whether the next 30 minutes were maybe fine, see how she sleeps, or life or death. With Malaika, she knows the protocol of the World Health Organization. In her hand, in her language, said so. With that certainty, she has something to fight with. I know it is not enough, but it is everything she did not have before. And in the morning, when she walks into the district clinic, the nurse opens a laptop, drops the audio, and gets back a clinical note in 3 seconds.
If Malaika gets us anywhere close to that 15% IMCI number, we're talking about 175,000 children every year who would still be alive today. 480 children every single day, still in their mother's arms. That's a projection, not a measurement. The 15% comes from human-delivered IMCI in the Cochrane review. We're claiming Malaika could approach that number. We haven't proved it, but we'll say it that way until we have. And that's just for 2 diseases. Malaika is open source, free forever. We built it on Gemma 4, Google's open source model, because the AI that decides whether a child lives must not belong to a company, it has to belong to everyone. Here's what we believe. As engineers, technologies like Malaika that run on Gemma 4 open source models aren't just for business optimization and growth. It should be for communities. It should be for enhancing human lives in every way the people building it can imagine. AI is the most powerful lever any of us will ever hold in our lives. Releasing open source AI models like Gemma 4 is how that lever gets out of the data center and into the hands of people. Gemma 4 is right now, today, the clearest path Google has chosen to put cognition into anyone's hands. That's what decentralizing access to technology really and truly means.
I architect enterprise AI systems at scale. Mark is an electronics and AGI engineer. He knows what it takes to make a model run on hardware most engineers ignore. Neither of us is a doctor. This started in a coffee shop. We were planning on a workshop on open source, what it means as public good. That same week, Google released Gemma 4. That same week, we found this hackathon. The world handed us a model, a deadline, and a problem, and we said, yes, we could have built this for agriculture, education, finance, climate, accessibility, justice. Open source has use case in every industry, but we chose children because we don't know which child becomes the next Sundar Pichai, a boy from two-room home in Tamil Nadu who today runs the company that built this model in this video. We don't know which of those 4.9 million children lost every year would have changed the world. We believe everyone deserves a place in this world. If Malaika gets anywhere close to that 15% number, that's not an ambition. That is the vision Gemma 4 makes achievable, not by us alone, by anyone, anywhere who forks it tonight. You can fork it tonight, translate it tomorrow, deploy it next week. So, pneumonia kills a child every 39 seconds. The next 39 seconds belong to us and to every developer who picks this up tomorrow in any village, in any language, on any phone.